Taste Daily. Taste the Daily.
Holidays nale adu namma GT Holidays da, South India's #1 travel brand.
Hello Ritu.
Hi.
Welcome to Galatta Telugu once again.
Thank you.
So we often call you Chitra, and I'm sure you must be seeing all the edits and the posts that Chitra keeps getting online.
Right.
What I find interesting is that speaking about reading, you said that two of your favorite books are The Forest of Enchantments and The Palace of Illusions. What is the name of the author?
Chitra Divakar Banerjee.
It's a very cool coincidence, right?
Right.
So to those who are not familiar, how would you describe the author and her work?
So I read both these books back to back. The first book that I read was Palace of Illusions, and I loved it. I didn't have many expectations about The Forest of Enchantments, but it surprised me, and I loved it even more than the first book. They're both from the women's point of view. Palace of Illusions is obviously from Mahabharata, and then this one is Ramayana from Sita's point of view.
Okay.
I just love the way she described Sita in the book, the way she loved nature and the way she was so selfless. That's something I really loved about her writing. And it was very interesting to read both these books back to back, and got me very interested in mythology, and I want to read a lot more books.
You do read a lot, right? You said that reading and painting are two things that help you escape the world.
Not a lot. I wish, I want to read quite a lot of books, but it takes me a lot to get to reading a book. I feel sometimes my focus is all over the place. So it takes me a lot to just focus on reading. But I do enjoy it. It's an escape for me.
Yeah.
That's what films do to me as well. They're an escape into another world. I'm a typical Piscean, so that's a typical trait that I have.
Bio also says that.
So I'm always living in a parallel world, I feel.
That must be so cool because you do actually get to play characters that are not you and
right, yeah,
live in worlds, not different worlds, but still parallel realities.
Yeah. It's my superpower, I feel, which is why I'm very imaginative.
Okay.
Helps me in my creativity as well, I feel.
That helps you as an actor too?
Definitely, I think so. I have that artistic streak in me. And yeah.
Nice. And this is not exactly a zone that we see Ritu Varma usually in. Nothing wrong about it, but wearing colorful costumes and dancing around, being in a proper commercial entertainer, the out and out commercial entertainer, that we haven't seen you in that zone before. So is it that you haven't been offered such roles in the past, or were you turning them down, or what happened this time?
To be honest, I wasn't offered many commercial films before this. In fact, when the makers of this film approached me for this film, I was very surprised because I have seen Trinath Garu's and Prasanna Garu's work earlier, and they've done some proper commercial films. So I was very surprised as to why are they offering me this film.
Did you ask them?
No, not really. It was only in my head. But I went and I did a meeting with them. I got a narration from Prasanna Garu, and I enjoyed the narration. It took me by surprise. I was honestly laughing throughout the narration. I didn't even know when the time passed by. I think it was a 2.5 hour narration.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it thoroughly. I didn't look at the time at all. So yeah, I loved the story. Then I knew why they were offering me this film.
Why?
Because it, the story gives importance to both the female characters. The story sort of revolves around, the female characters. I don't want to give away too much.
Okay.
I want the audience to...
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. But, yes, both the characters have a lot of importance and substance in the story. And it's high on emotional quotient. Honestly, the teaser is packaged in a way, but the film is going to be full of surprises, lots of twists and turns. I'm sure definitely the audience is going to enjoy the film.
Nice. It's good to know that at least a commercial entertainer isn't restraining the film's end. This is not something that I am
Definitely,
saying. It's a fact. Okay, like a female's role, regardless of how big the film is, if it is an out and out commercial entertainer, the female lead has a very, what do you call? She's confined to a very
certain things.
very certain things.
Yeah.
Like she appears
Yeah.
before a song comes up, and she disappears after that, and
Yeah.
then there has to be a lead up to another song. She comes. So I'm glad that's not happening. Were you offered such roles also ever, where
Not
you are
really.
very okay? Never.
I was taken by surprise when this film was offered to me.
Hmm.
In fact, more than my character, I feel like Anshu's character has some really well written scenes, which have a lot of depth and sensitivity,
Mhm.
to be honest. Both the characters actually have a lot of layers, which the audience will understand when they watch the film.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. What would a day on the film set be like?
Fun, lots of laughter, like people pulling each other's leg. Mostly Trinath Garu, Sandeep pulling my leg or Anshu's leg. Laughter, laughter, laughter. That's how the set would be. And the people like on set, they're so welcoming. Be it Trinath Garu, the moment I step on the set, he would just get up and like greet me with like a wide smile. Or be it his assistant directors. Everybody would be like so warm and like positive, and every day felt like a celebration, honestly. Like I enjoyed working on this film. Of course, about the scenes, I wasn't very nervous because I knew that I would like be able to do it. But like about the songs, they gave me so much confidence. They had confidence more than me. In fact, the last schedule was so hectic. We had so much to finish because we couldn't release the film during Sankranti, and then we were looking at aiming for a February release. We worked double call sheets. We were all sleep deprived. We shot for songs back to back, but all of us were hyping each other up, especially me and Sandeep. As actors, we can only like relate to each other, right? So we were like hyping each other up and like telling each other we can do it, and then high-fiving and like keeping the energy high. He was a great support. So it's been like a lot of fun, and we bonded really well. Like me and Anshu also got along really well right from day one. She, like I keep joking saying she's my sister from another mister. So yeah, we hit it off from day one, and every time I would see her for a new schedule, we had so much to catch up on. We would talk about everything, all the girly things, about life in general, about spirituality.
She's damn smart, right? Like psychology, and all, she talks a lot about.
Yeah. So we had so much to talk about all the time, and then she's worked really hard for the film. She had this childlike enthusiasm. She would come with her notes prepared, and like every time she would come back, she would have like this high energy. And she started taking Telugu course as well.
Okay.
She's trying to learn the language.
Nice.
So I hope she does get like more projects after this. So fun. Like it's been a joyride.
Nice. What are some of your favorite like entertainers? Are there films that you keep going back to? Because it's one of my favorite genres.
Right.
Comedy
Yeah, mine too.
entertainers.
Yeah,
I keep
of course.
going back. I have certain films that.
Especially all the films that came in the 90s and 2000s, I guess. Honestly, sometimes I run out of content to watch and I don't know what to watch. So I've been rewatching a lot of old films that I grew up watching.
Like which ones?
So many, like these films like, Andaz Apna Apna. Or,
it's getting a re-release, by the way.
Is
Yeah,
it?
in April.
Oh, that's
yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah.
So I have a niece as well now. She's, about to turn 10. So my sister and my brother-in-law, they've been like making her watch all of these movies that we grew up watching as well, like Mr. India. And she enjoys all of these films as well. So I love that nostalgic feeling. So many of these, movies that came in 2000s as well, they were so progressive. They were so ahead of their time. Even in terms of making or, how the characters were designed or how the, actors were styled. So it feels nice to like just go back and compare.
Nice.
Yeah.
So your last release was Swag.
Yes.
Which was a very...
Just a few months ago.
October 4th.
Yes.
So, Swag had a, what do you call, it was met with polarizing reactions. People who loved it, they loved it.
Yes.
People who hated it with their
Yeah.
whole heart. So there's
no in between.
No in between.
Yeah.
Love and hate.
Yeah.
How did you look at the reactions and what do you think triggered that
So I think,
reception?
like right from the beginning, I knew that this film is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. it's not easy for everyone to really understand the depth of the story, and you need to sort of have like a progressive mind to accept the film. So I think that's why the polarizing comments. People who loved the film loved it. They had like great things to say. People who didn't like it, again, like it's their opinion. Like, but I'm very happy and content, satisfied as an actor that I got to be a part of a film like that, because it handled such sensitive issues. And Hasit is a fabulous director. One of the best directors I worked with. He handled the subject with so much sensitivity, and he like so much respect. Like, so I had a great time working on that film as well. Some great memories. So
it's a great film. I belong to this side. So
I know you loved the film.
Yeah,
I remember like seeing your review and everything.
So speaking of progressiveness and politics, those things, like we spoke before the release of Swag also, they have become so important. And I don't mean to put you in a spot, but there have been scenes or dialogues in Mr. Trinadrao Nakina's films that have created a flag. So were you like conscious about that
honestly
risk, or did you not think about it?
They didn't cross my mind when I took the narration. As I said, I mean, there's a lot of emotions in the film which took me by surprise. So those thoughts didn't really, like, I was just focusing on this film. I didn't really focus about how his previous work was and everything. And he's very respectful as a person, honestly, on set as well. Like, he's never passed any comments that have made me uncomfortable or anything like that. He's only been nice to all of us.
Yeah. Even though that whole thing that happened, Anju released a statement that he's actually a very sweet person. I
was definitely like a little skeptical initially, because I've not worked with a director like him before. I've mostly worked with new age directors, younger directors. He's more of a commercial director, but it's been an absolute pleasure working with him. And I think he knows the pulse of the audience. He knows how to make a proper masala film. So he's treated the film really well.
Ritu, what's the difference that you noticed between an out and out commercial director like Mr. Trinadrao Nakina as opposed to the new age directors you have worked with? What's different in their approach to cinema?
I think, as I said, Trinad Garu knows the pulse of the audience. He knows, what will get people laughing or what will get people excited and things like that. With new age directors, it's mostly like, I love the conviction that they have on their work or on their stories. They believe in something and they want to do that, and they're very confident that it'll resonate with the audience. So that's what I like about these new age directors.
So both of them are working for
different set of audience, I feel. Again, Trinad Garu is someone who knows, yes, I'm confident about this film and I'm confident that, the audience will love this. He's targeting a different section of audience, and these people are targeting a different section of audience. So, yeah.
So, as a viewer, what kind of films do you generally prefer? Both.
I have been a big movie buff since I was a kid. So, I enjoy watching all kinds of cinema. I think, like, people assume that, okay, she's a serious actor. She only probably watches world cinema and things like that. But I love watching all kinds of films. Initially, probably, even I was maybe particular about the kind of films that I wanted to do. But then I realized, I'm an actor and I enjoy watching all kinds of films. So why shouldn't I explore different genres? There's nothing wrong in it. We're only doing it to entertain audience. So.
What's a film or series that you watched and enjoyed recently?
I would say Pushpa 2. Allu Arjun Garu's performance was like out of the world. I thought, what a performer, and like he's an all-rounder, I think, be it like when it comes to acting or dancing or fights, everything. I enjoyed watching the film.
Okay. And this is a question that I'm sure a lot of people must have asked you. But I want to know from your perspective, this about Dhruva Natchathiram. Are you impatient? Or did you ever become impatient with respect to that film?
I didn't become impatient. Obviously, I feel extremely lucky that I got to work with such a brilliant director like Gautam sir, and such a fabulous actor like Vikram sir. He was the first superstar that I worked with. And I had such an amazing experience on the film, so much to learn. I was so naive. This was like right after Pelli Chuplu's
right?
release, and it was like a big setup. And to be a part of such a big film was huge for me. Obviously, I wanted the film to come out. Obviously, I wanted it to be my Tamil debut, but things didn't really work out. And unfortunately, it got delayed for many, many years.
Yeah.
I used to be hopeful, of course. I still want the film to come out. But I think in a way, I've moved on. I'm not saying this in a negative, way, but I've done many films post that.
After that,
They've kept me busy. But I still do think about it once in a while, and every time I see a tweet, like I get hopeful. A lot of speculations keep happening about the film. They say it's releasing now, it's releasing next month. I do feel hopeful, but then, I'm like, okay, if it happens, it happens. Otherwise, I'm okay with it. Maybe it has its own like journey and time and whatever. But if it comes out, yes, it will be great because it's a great film. And I think it still looks very fresh.
It looks actually. The teaser came out in 2017.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like a film that came out in 2017.
Yeah, and the fact that it's still talked about.
The fact that it's still relevant, that people haven't forgotten
Exactly.
it says a lot about the film's hype.
Yeah.
And even Mr. GVM was saying that because Madagaja Raja became such a huge hit,
Exactly.
a delayed
It came
film,
out 12 years later.
12 years later.
Yeah.
So Mr. GVM said in a recent interview that gave them hope and the film might come out soon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's hope for the best and all the best for that. And more recent, this is coming out next week. So
Yes.
all the very best for this also.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for the
Thank
time.
you so
All
much.
the very best.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Taste the Daily. Taste the Daily.
Holidays nale adu namma GT Holidays da. South India's #1 travel brand.